that you expect to have it forever.
Yeah.
I think the current thinking in the U.S. is most people have their homes for about 7 years.
German. No. That's he starts feeling comfortable in his house after 7 years. You know?
Welcome to the special edition of the Fine Homebuilding podcast from the show floor of the JLC Live Residential Construction Show in Providence, Rhode Island. I'm Senior Editor Patrick McComb. I'm joined by Digital Brand Manager Rob Watzak.
Hey.
Producer Jeff Rose. And special guests from Stabila, the level and measuring tools company, Ulrich, Dahne, and Holger Binder of Stabila. Stabila. Thank you guys for being here.
Well, thank you for hosting us.
It's great to be here.
I think you might be our first international guest.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks for coming.
Proud to be here, yeah?
Yeah. When did you guys get here? Yesterday?
Well, we arrived in US on Monday, but I arrived here yesterday, yeah?
Cool.
Yeah.
And this is their first time at this show, right?
First time at the show, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
And what do you think about it?
Awesome. It's awesome.
It's so fantastic. You have so many tool enthusiasts here. Fantastic.
And you know what? They want to spend money.
Oh, yeah.
You will see most people leaving with bags of stuff when they're going out the door.
Yeah.
I think we did the show, we've been doing it for more than 20 years now, I was told. And
yes,
it's fantastic to see it. Everyone told us you have to be here, you have to see it, and it's fantastic.
It is. I feel like renewed when I come to this show. Like it's a very special group of tradespeople who want to elevate the craft. They want to learn. They want to do a good job. They want the best products. And they come here to learn, and I think that's really cool, and spend their own money to do so.
And there are very few things that tradespeople get more excited about than their tools.
Amen. And I was super excited when I learned you guys are going to be on, because I'm a huge fan of your products.
That's what we love about the US. Really interested in good tools.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference.
Can you guys tell me a little bit about the history of your company? When was it started? What did you start making? Was it always spirit levels? Just give me the rundown, if you would, please.
Well, we have to go back to the year 8089. That's the official year of the foundation of Stabila. And the reason why Stabila was founded, and that's the time, by the way, your Civil War was just over.
Yes.
We talk about Industry 1.0, so that's the time where the steam engines were still on, yeah.
The machine age.
The machine age, yeah. We are just turning to the Industry 2.0. The electrical drive was just invented. The Eiffel Tower was just built, so that's the time about 130 years ago. And our founder, he invented...
Was he a tradesperson?
No, he was a kind of engineer, yeah.
Okay.
And he developed, this folding ruler. That's very popular in Germany.
Do carpenters still use that in Germany?
Of course, yeah. We sell millions of this in Germany. Not in the US. You like more of the tapes, but we still very much with folding rulers. And our founder, he invented that joint here. So before, these pieces of woods were riveted together or screwed together. So there was no solid joint here, but it was like a loose connection. So you'd hold it
out and it would fold up.
You couldn't hold it out. You couldn't stick it out, yeah? So he came up with a patent 3 years ago before he founded the company for that joint. So and that's the root cause of Stabila, the joint of that.
Did he first try and sell that to another manufacturer, or did he decide to go into...
No, I go by myself. His father and his uncle were also in the machinery of folding rulers with the old system. So he was experienced to manufacture and to sell. But he decided, I don't want to go in the company of my father and my uncle. I do it by myself. Yeah. So he came to this little city of Anweiler, where we are still today.
Yes.
With his patent. And he founded Stabila, yeah?
Cool.
8089. And from the very beginning, he did not only manufacture folding rulers, but the whole program of measuring tools. So I have an historic catalog of 1901, and it displays the whole range of products. So a whole range of folding rulers, of course, but also a range of levels, metal levels, wooden levels, everything.
Were they trade specific, much like your levels are today?
Yeah.
Or was it,
already at that time, yeah.
Wow, cool.
Yeah, and then also tapes, yeah. Probably no lasers as we have it today, we came later. Yeah. So, but he started from the beginning with a whole range of high-quality German-made measuring products. And from the beginning, he focused on innovation and on quality.
And quality.
And quality, yeah.
And when did you start selling them internationally?
right from the beginning.
Yes.
I have files from the early last century selling to Russia, selling to Italy. Not sure whether they were selling overseas to US at that time, but up to Korea. So very soon they started, very fast they started selling international. And still today we have 80% export quota. So only every fifth level stays in Germany. Yeah?
Wow.
80 countries we serve.
Can I ask a dumb question? If you sell a folding rule in Korea, does it have Korean numerals on it?
Unfortunately, the folding rule business is only Germany and a couple of countries around.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's not used to other countries. They all use tapes. Yeah.
Okay.
So
and they have metric measurements on.
They have metric measures. You're the only one of the few countries beside UK.
It's ridiculous.
I don't know why we
but
do
don't
that.
ask me to change. It's ridiculous.
With his imperial scale, they have numeric scale. Yeah.
When did the levels started? Shortly after the founding of the company, and what makes them better? Because my experience is they just work better. How do you guys do that? And they last longer. They're nearly indestructible.
Yeah. There's some secrets about that, I can tell you, of course. The most important thing is the vial fixing system. Yeah,
it's locked in there, right?
How the vials are built in, because that's what manufacturers normally don't tell you. Yeah, a lot of levels look nice and shiny from outside, but like with as humans, the true values lie inside.
Amen. Yeah.
And so, what do you want from a level? It should be accurate. It should not lie. Yeah, it should be true.
It should be tough.
And tough, of course. Robustness is also important, because a level is dropped several times.
I'm embarrassed to admit how often I do that.
Happened also to me. That's just normal on the job site. But how can you be safe that it's still true after it dropped? Yeah. So we have had a vial fixing system in our levels since 30 years now. And this is very unique. Yeah?
It is.
We have the vials fixed in a vial holder. This holder goes into the level frame, and then with a special process, it's casted permanently with a special kind of glue.
So is it epoxy?
Yes.
Epoxy,
It's without
two-component epoxy.
Without tension. Yeah. So a lot of vials in the market are fixed either by screws or some kind of a little bit of glue around that.
And it's usually just fit in the extrusion itself, right? Or the casting.
Yeah. But as you know, if you're in Phoenix, it's a difference to working in Alaska. Sure. So the temperature is also important. And if you just fix the vial with the screw, for example, you have tension. And temperature changes and tension don't go well together. Yeah. The vial is not permanently fixed with that kind of system. So with our system, you can be sure it's fixed permanently. So the accuracy we guarantee for life. So that's why you also get a lifetime warranty on our levels.
So
on accuracy, somebody claim lifetime warranty, but they only might warrant you that the vial is not leaking, whatever.
Right.
We guarantee on accuracy. That's the difference.
And is the construction of the aluminum different than other levels too?
We have very high standards on that. Yeah. When we check every profile before it's being used. Yeah.
Yes.
And everything which is not okay, we reject. That's very important to have also high quality of the materials you use. Yeah.
Are you guys making the aluminum sections, or are you buying those from another third party?
One of the few things we buy.
Yes.
We have a very deep value add structure. We do almost everything.
Yes.
We do all the plastics, the vials, of course, everything. The only thing we really buy is the aluminum bar.
And how do you check those when you get a batch of bars in?
We check every bar on a reference flat surface from all angles.
Cool.
And
I'd love to see that.
It's terrible, yeah. It's a terrible work. It's a terrible work, yeah, but you need to do it, yeah, because they might be bended, they might be off straight, yeah.
Yeah.
And it starts with the beginning, and you will never correct that for that. So we have to do that. And again, that's a difference to maybe another manufacturer in Far East or whatever. Yeah, we care for the quality. Yeah.
And the profiles are made with our tools. That's also important. We own the tools. Yeah.
So now, it has the same classic look it's had for years and years, and I'm guessing the process has been pretty much the same for years and years. But precision technology in the past several decades has increased and become more affordable. Has that been integrated into the process?
Yeah, well, we are a little bit German. We claim a precision of 0.5 over 1 meter. Actually, it's much less. Yeah, because we see it. We have to guarantee that every level out of 100% or maybe 95% out of level is within this accuracy. So the majority of a level might have 0.2, 0.3, but to be on the safe side, we grant 0.5. Yeah, that's the difference. Again, German engineers are not overselling. Yeah, they are very conservative on what they put on the level, and we also work hard on improving that. Yeah, during the process. To automate it and to improve the accuracy, and that's a continuous process to work on that.
You can automate certain things, but if you had a look in our factory, there's still a lot of work done manually with very experienced workers. That's very important that you have staff which is very experienced. And that's always what people tell us. Oh, we're surprised how much effort you put into quality. Quality check also. Every single level from Stabila is checked at least 5 to 7 times on accuracy during the whole process of manufacturing.
Wow.
And that's the thing. I mean, you mentioned experienced workers. I mean, I know growing up in this country, I learned early on that Germany has always had put a premium on precision and craftsmanship and quality, and obviously that's represented in the work you guys do.
Yeah.
I'm curious. Like, spirit levels have not changed in centuries, right? The technology is very simple, very reliable, and that's part of its appeal for me. Like, there's nothing to figure out, right? It's the bubbles in the center of the vial or it's not. Do you guys see electronic levels replacing the conventional spirit level for certain tasks or generally in the future, near or far?
Well, we see a strong growing demand for the electronic stuff, like especially electronic levels, but also the lasers.
Yes.
But we are surprised the analog stuff is still also very strong in the market, and we know that from the folding rule. This is 130 years old now, and you have now this digital measuring tools, the LDMs, and people say, oh, this will replace a folding rule or will replace a tape, but it won't. We produce more folding rulers and tapes than ever, so I think a craftsman still wants to have an analog instrument on the side where he can see what he can touch, where he doesn't need a battery, which is always reliable. So we think there will always be a market for classic levels and classic folding rulers, classic tapes, but there's an opening and strong growing market for the electronic.
Where are you seeing the most growth in the electronic levels? Like what trade specifically? Can you identify that, or?
It's in many trades, to be honest. I mean, we have a fantastic business and a fantastic growth with electronic levels in the US. They are very fond of that technology. We started our tech level category 10 years ago, and every year the sales went up. It's fantastic. And it started with the ADA ramps, so legislation helped that. Yeah, with the slope. It had to be correct. Yeah.
So that's one thing that an electronic level can do that a standard spirit level can't, is you can make it an angle or a pitch.
You see the slope directly, on the display, and that's fantastic. Yeah?
Yes.
So the guys checking the ramps, they started having an electronic level, but now, of course, when the slope was not right, the craftsman got a problem.
That's too late.
That's too late. So what did the craftsman do?
He went and got one.
Yeah. So they also chose the right weapon. Yeah. So so got the electronic levels. But now it's not only those guys seeing advantages in using an electronic level. We see that in all the trades, because you have instant readability, you have the light,
and you can level something from a distance, right? You can hear if it beeps, you know if it's level
with the sound, and the light. You know, sometimes the surrounding is not so bright, so you have the nice display. You have two displays, and if you flip it over the whole level, also the display figures they flip. Yeah, so it's very comfortable using an electronic level.
I used early versions of them, and I found them frustrating, but it's probably time I give that a try again.
You should.
It was too precise.
Well, you say that. My brother-in-law is an engineer, and he was framing an addition in his house, and the problem is the tool is more accurate than the material that you're working with. And he's like, I can't get a stud perfectly level because it's just impossible.
Right.
But for stud framing, we've got very nice analog tools too. The longest period level in the world. But coming back to the accuracy.
How long is it? I can't let you just drop that without following up on that.
I'm an European guy, so I'm thinking in meters. It's 3 meters 80, so that's about
12 foot.
12 foot, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But coming back to the accuracy of the electronic levels, you're right. Our first electronic level 10 years ago, that was too accurate for some of the tradesmen. So we changed the accuracy again to what they wanted.
It was just too long to get it to read, you know?
Yeah, but we listen to our customers, you know. Every tool we make is designed together with professionals in the different trades. So they're not just engineers sitting in their small little office thinking about what a craftsman could need. So we're going to the job sites, we're talking to them, our product management is going outside, and we look on the hands of the tradesmen and listen to them.
I can tell you that companies that I've seen have the most success are the ones that best listen to their end users.
You're right.
It's like they know what they need, and they will tell you. Yeah. And they are not shy.
And they're passionate about it. They really like to share this with us, yeah?
I was going to ask you guys, so what should I look for when I'm picking my Stabila level or another level with regard to quality of construction? You mentioned earlier the way the vial is mounted is key.
Yeah.
Are there other things that you would tell people to look for?
Well, the traditional test everybody is doing is checking it that way and checking it that way.
So
to make sure that's in level.
100 degrees, yeah.
So for you, those of you listening, he put the level down and then turned it 180 degrees to see.
Turn it 180 degrees.
And it should read the same thing.
Should read the same. You don't have to do this with Stabila, I can promise you, but you have to do it with all the others. Okay. And if it is off level, don't take it. Yeah?
Just throw it out.
Don't throw it out. It at least guarantees you that the level is accurate the moment you buy it.
Yes.
Yeah? It might fall off at the construction site, might get a bump, and then you have to check it again. Again, with Stabila, you don't have to do it, but that's the normal checking, the quality checking procedure every craftsman does with a level. Yeah? That's point one.
Yeah. Then you can look on details which help you to be more efficient. For example, our good profiles, they have the anti-slip end caps. Also
that are removable, which is brilliant.
And I call them wood magnets, so that they stick to the wall or whatever flat surfaces. With a normal flat level, you always have the problem that it's wobbly and not nice. Then look at the handholds. Do they fit? We really have nice handholds which are good. Also wearing
with the molding
gloves.
In there.
Yeah, with the molding that they are nice to your hands. Yeah, removable end caps you already mentioned, and of course milled surfaces. Look at the quality of the milled surfaces.
I should tell our listeners the advantage of the removable end caps is it allows you to put the light level tight to a corner, so you can turn the corner with your level line.
You're a specialist, I see. You're right. Yeah, and then if you need a very strong frame. Yeah, perhaps you have heavy-duty jobs, or you want a very robust one
with Neanderthals.
Yeah. For example, we even have the strongest level in the world with our R-beam, which has not only one chamber, one box, but also 4 additional ones in the corners. So we have 5 chambers reinforcing the whole structure. Yeah.
I've seen those. Those are pretty cool. Someone told me those were originally developed for the masons trade. Is that correct?
Masons, but also perfect for drywall builders because you have 3 edges where you can make your markings.
Yes.
And so many details would be far too much to go on every detail now, but that's the nice thing that you can find a Stabila level which suits your specific trade. We have special extendable levels in all sizes.
Your plate level is, I think, one of the best design tools for framers that has ever existed. So it's for those of you listening, a telescopic level that actually stands off the wall studs and reads from the plates because the studs are never straight. and it allows you to plumb the wall without the noise of the curved studs.
Yeah.
That's a perfect example how we develop products, because we went to the US and we spent weeks and months visiting craftsmen on the site. How do you erect your houses?
Yes.
Yeah? And what problems do you have with the existing meshing material? What would you like to have? Yeah? And we came out with that design that would help them best. Yeah?
Yes.
And it's an awesome success. So you have to listen to your customers. You have to observe how they are working with our tools, and we are very passionate about that. We even tape it, yeah, and then at home we watch it. How has he used it? And
you're like movement. You're recording movements of the.
Yeah, we're recording tapes of that. Yeah. For instance, I was once in the US, and we had a pile of wood. And we asked 5 craftsmen in 5 days to build a house out of this wood, yeah, and we taped everything, yeah. So they erected the house, and at the end we have to tear it down again, yeah, and we taped everything. And at home we sat there and we watched it. How has he done it? What is he doing?
And you're trying to look for things that would be the start of a new product, I presume, right?
Or help them with the existing one, improving the existing one. Yeah, there are little things like these rubber stops here. Yeah,
I love that.
It's a little detail, but it makes your work so much easier. Yeah, and
do you sell that plate level outside the U.S.? I mean,
a little bit, but the main market is U.S.
because we're peculiar in light wood frame, right?
Right, yeah. You work in wood. We don't have these wood houses that much in Germany. We have it in other markets, Australia,
UK also.
UK,
Norway.
Yeah.
Norway is a strong market also for that, yeah.
Yeah,
there are some countries.
So how would you describe the differences between how we build and how we use tools in your country compared to our country compared to yours? Like, what's the big differences?
For us, one of the big differences is there are more people in the US who really like to spend money for a good tool. Yeah, you're not that much on a budget as in other countries. Yeah, you see the value in a good tool. You see what it costs to do your work once again because you had a bad tool. So we have a high, a loyal and high. A fan group who is willing to spend a lot of money on levels or on tools in general. That's a difference, yeah.
Yeah, and it also is linked to that you have many contractors, independent ones, yeah. So when you look at the different countries, the systems are a little bit different. Yeah, in Germany we don't have so many independent contractors. Yeah, we have big companies, and perhaps they have a buying department buying the tools. They are looking more on the price,
right,
not on the what the tool can do. Yeah.
Are they building lots of homes in a what we would describe as a development?
Yes. Yeah, that's the trend. Yeah,
of course you have masonry, right?
Yes. Yeah, mostly masonry. Also in residential housing. Here you have the stud framing. Of course, that's a big difference. You don't see many stud framed houses in Germany.
You think that's mostly just because of available materials, or is it just because of tradition?
Mainly it's a tradition, and of course, yeah. Don't ask me why. I think it's tradition, yeah. And of course, Germans love solid houses. So some say, of course, stud framing looks a bit shaky, and if you see the tornadoes and the house is gone,
that's true.
Perhaps they're afraid of that. And you know, the Germans build their houses for their whole life. You know, they don't move so many as the Americans do.
We've had that discussion on the show. Is that you expect to have it forever?
Yeah. Yeah,
I think the current thinking in the U.S. is most people have their homes for about 7 years.
German, no. That's he starts feeling comfortable in his house after 7 years. You know?
You guys make great products for primarily professionals, at least in our market. Have you ever tried to go to the consumery home center, less expensive stuff? Is that someplace you've ever thought about going?
Well, on a global scale, we have a whole range of products. So we have the ones for the high quality, high price willingness to pay, customership. But of course, we have other countries like South Africa. They also love our tools. Yeah, they are poor. And we also need a proper product for these guys, which has the same quality as a Stabila level, but is a little bit cheaper, affordable for them because they are on a budget. So since we are exporting to 80 countries, we have all these different markets. East Asia, for instance, they are also sometimes on a budget. Other markets are willing to pay more. So we have a whole range of frames and price points. but they all obey the same Stabila quality. We don't compromise on the mounting system. We don't compromise on the accuracy, on innovation, on quality. That's all the same, but of course the frame looks different and the price point is different.
Cool. So when can Rob and I get a chance to come see levels being made in Germany?
You're always invited.
You heard it, Rob.
Yeah.
We have it on tape.
You have to come.
I would love to.
You have to come. And we have more than 1,800 customers a year. So we are used that people coming to us and wants to see it, and we are proud to show it. Yeah,
it'd be like a pilgrimage for me.
We are so proud to so proud of what we are doing.
Should be.
And we like to share it. Yeah, people have to see how we do it. Yeah, it's a difference whether you manufacture a level in China or in Germany. Yeah? You have to see it,
and you have to use one to appreciate the difference. That's what I would say. I was, to be honest, scared to spend that much money on something that can get damaged and or it gets stolen or whatever. But boy, once you use it, it just makes perfect sense.
Yeah, so you're always invited, and we have a program. You can have a training. We will have a factory tour. We sit it in a very nice area, wine area.
Fantastic training center with really nice, realistic job situations where you can experience the tools. And we have a little museum about the history of Stabila, and of course, as Uli said, the factory. And we're just building a new factory on our site in Germany because the demand is so high that we need more space. And
that's a good problem.
Yeah, it's a good problem, luxury problem, of course. But yeah.
So if we do come to visit, like, can you describe what else would we be doing for fun while we're in your part of Germany? I mean, what's the area like where you are?
It's a fantastic area to live. We've got a lot of vineyards around. It's also called the German Tuscany, where we are. Very nice. So fig trees are growing in the garden, and so very warm climate. We have a lot of history, timber-framed houses, small little villages. There's the castle in Annweiler, where Richard Lionheart was imprisoned when he came back from a crusade.
1200 something, so
wow.
That almost bankrupted the Brits.
Yeah.
First time.
And there's Heidelberg, the Heidelberg Castle in
very
our
close
area.
by, yeah.
So fantastic region.
Fantastic region to live.
Good beer.
To work. Good beer, yeah, but we are more with wine because we have this wine area.
Because of the climate.
Because of the
White
climate,
wine, but also red wine.
Count me in. It's been so great having you guys on. Thank you so much for being on here.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. Pleasure to be here.
Well, that's all we have time with Stabila today, but stay tuned and we will have another podcast in a couple hours, and I hope you all will tune in for that. Thanks.